Hey everybody, welcome to another fabulous episode of Two Smart Guys talking about stupid stuff. So welcome again. And Wolf, I think you had a topic you wanted to intro us into today, right?
Sure, and welcome everybody. And we now know who is going to be in the Super Bowl.
Indeed.
Represent AFC, we have the Kansas City Chiefs again, and representing the NFC, we have the Philadelphia Eagles again. Asterisks, being that
Deja vu. I mean, yeah.
that they were in 2 years ago. And so this is actually going to be a repeat of the Super Bowl 2 years ago, albeit with a possible different outcome. Last time the Kansas City Chiefs won. Kansas City Chiefs are trying to do something that even the New England Patriots have not been able to do, and that is do a three-peat, 3 Super Bowls in a row. It has never been done in the NFL.
So
Patrick
are
Mahomes,
you a betting man on this?
The Chiefs seem unstoppable to me. Don't get me wrong. I love the Eagles, and I love the city of Philadelphia. It's a great city. It's a good blue collar city, just like Boston is, where I'm originally from. But I watch the Chiefs play, and they seem unstoppable. Now, don't get me wrong. The Eagles have Jalen Hurts, who is a running back, and he is phenomenal, arguably the best in the league. And even their rookie running back managed to score a rushing touchdown in the NFC Championship game. So it'll definitely be interesting because you're going to have Mahomes' arm and you're going to have Hurts' legs, and we'll see what happens there. But let us
Well,
not forget that we have the Kelsey factor with Taylor
the Kelsey
Swift.
factor. Yes, we have to bring in the pop culture into this.
So
Yes.
Taylor Swift will be in attendance, I assume, supporting her guy, who, unlike his beautiful lady, cannot sing. Oh my God! Did you catch the Chiefs game at all?
The Chiefs? No, I did not. Did Kelsey sing?
So when they presented the award, they pass it around, and all of the star players get a chance at the microphone in front of the fans. And he started singing "Get Down Tonight," and it's like, oh, dude, stick to your day job, please.
Well, you can only hope if they ever get married and have kids that they'll take after their mom, at least in terms of their vocal abilities, and perhaps after their dad in terms of their physical abilities in there. But it's always one of those things. Um, Taking a risk when you're singing in public, or singing in public, is taking a risk, even if you are just at the karaoke bar. Of course, karaoke bar, everybody's drunk enough. Hopefully, it doesn't really matter. But anyway, I digress.
Right. And, so it looks to be an exciting matchup. It's going to be on Sunday, February 9th. Speaking of which, I have a house guest that we both know that is going to be here. And we were
Yes.
talking about potentially doing a little something for the Super Bowl if you are interested.
Absolutely. Sounds great. I think we should also have that house guest perhaps as a guest on the podcast too at some point.
Yes. Yep. And I did mention that to him, and he is willing to do that. And we already have the facility
Really?
set up. Yep. So he will sit
Wow.
in, and
He understands there's no payment involved, right?
I
Well, we'll have a beer or something like that, but there
yeah,
you go.
yeah. But
Yeah, we'll have a beer or something
I'll
like that.
pay him in shotgun shells.
Oh, okay. All right. Well, that sounds a little ominous, but all right. There's no threat involved, people. No threat involved.
No, no,
Okay.
no. So we go sporting clay shooting
Yes.
with
Yes.
12 gauges, and this is something I haven't done in quite a while. Matter of fact, since the last time he was in town. So this coming weekend, before he gets here, I'm going to make sure all of my shotguns are clean and oiled up and ready to go. And at some point, during his visit, we are going to shoot sporting clays.
Good deal, man. Well, let's get back to the Super Bowl conversation in there. So, speaking of singing stuff, I've lost track. Who's doing halftime show this year? Do we know?
I believe it's Drake, which should be good. It's Drake's always entertaining.
Right.
The thing I like about the NFL halftime shows is they rarely are that. They're a show, and the NFL likes to mix it up from time to time, and they'll put disparate talent together, and they somehow manage to make it work. But basically,
they always manage to make it work. I think I would argue there might be some times where it hasn't worked, but
well, I mean,
yeah.
I don't recall a horrible halftime show. I mean, there are some that I like better than others. When Michael Jackson left on a jetpack, that was pretty cool.
Yeah, I think there was one like the Black Eyed Peas a few years ago that wasn't great, and there was what was the one with the dancing sharks? Wasn't there? Was that?
Oh yeah, Left Shark. Dark.
Yeah, Left Shark, right?
Paula Abdul and Shakira or something. I don't remember.
Oh, I don't think it's Paula Abdul. But
Left Shark was kind of doing their own thing and became a big viral meme for a while.
All right, as long as we're talking about that, what is it with Shark? Because there was like Left Shark, there was the Baby Shark, there was in the old days, there was Jumping the Shark, which I guess is
then
still.
There's
Land Shark. I forgot about Land Shark. Yes, from Saturday Night Live.
Yep.
Yeah. Yep. Land Shark.
Candygram.
And Candygram, exactly. People don't know what this is. If you're too young, go and look it up. Look up Land Shark on there. It's a historical comedic routine. I think there's a better way to say it.
From Saturday Night Live.
Saturday Night Live. And Jumping the Shark was all about the show Happy Days and the cool guy, Fonzie, who jumped over a shark.
So the guy coined that term, Jumping the Shark, I can't remember his name off the top of my head, but he ended up on the Howard Stern show as one of the producers. And he had the website jumpingtheshark.com for years and eventually sold it for big money.
Really?
And yeah, but he was a producer on the Howard Stern show. He was a big fan of the show. And John Hine, his name just came to me, John Hine. And
all I could think of was what was the one, Baba Louie or something like that?
Baba Booey. Yeah.
Baba Booey.
Gary,
Baba Louie was on Quick Draw McGraw. Okay, we're starting to go down a path here. But anyway.
Well, and so it's interesting that Baba Booey got his name from misremembering Baba Louie.
Oh, okay.
Gary Delabate. And so early in his time at the Howard Stern show, as you can tell, I used to listen to Howard Stern quite a bit. Early at his time in the Howard Stern show, he would buy animation slides, like glass frame slides from various animations, and Howard brought him in the studio to make fun of him because he thought it was really nerdy, especially with what he paid. And he holds up a picture and he says, "Who is this?" And he says, "It's Baba Booey." And Fred starts laughing and says, "No, you idiot, it's Bubba Louie." And from that point on, Gary was known as Bubba.
See, there's just all sorts of cultural references here, useless party trivia that you can get from this podcast, folks, here. Yeah. So we were talking about the Super Bowl, and I derailed you from that in there. But, yeah, it's now, honestly, I will say that most of the time I end up focused on the commercials for the Super Bowl. That's where we really kind of get into the entertainment value. They now even got the thing where they released them early on and such as that. But I do enjoy the commercials and seeing that. It's incredible to think about the commercials, how much they pay for it. And even the ones back when they had the .com boom and how much they were actually paying for it and featured things as well in there. But yeah, so I will admit I am probably more into the commercials than the game itself, because the game itself seems to rarely be that interesting, personal opinion. But
this should be an interesting game. I'm expecting a high scoring game, so we shall see. But interesting that you mentioned Super Bowl commercials during the .com era. I used to work at Monster.com,
Ah,
and
indeed.
we had Super Bowls. No, not Indeed. This was before Indeed.
Yes, yes. Do tell, do tell. I don't think there's a company called Do Tell, but anyway, go ahead.
So we would have Super Bowl commercials, and this is before virtualization was a thing.
Uh-huh.
So the data center, wow, my Boston just fell out. Let me try that again. The data center would start building out all of these servers for the Super Bowl spike so that the site wouldn't crash. And they would add like 50% more servers to the clusters for the web servers for traffic. Excuse me. And they would do this in anticipation of the Super Bowl spike. And then they would keep those servers up for like a month after the Super Bowl. And then they would take them down and repurpose them for other things. But this was an annual event at Monster for years.
Well, interestingly, since we're talking about that, I think that's the way, as I understand it, that like Amazon's AWS services got started because they would have a lot of servers that they would purposely spin up and stuff for the holidays, for example, for the retail hit there. And then when the holidays were done, they didn't use them anymore. So they just start selling services and stuff on them as well. So yeah, makes sense. So I guess Monster had a pretty big spike after the Super Bowl there, is what we're saying.
Yeah, early on in the .com era in the early 2000s, the Super Bowls would generate tremendous traffic.
Yeah. All right. So put you on the spot here. Prediction for the Super Bowl score?
I think it is going to be 41-38 Kansas City.
41-38 Kansas City. All right. If that happens.
Ain't no shade to Philly.
No. But everybody's happy. Everybody's got an opinion. I will gladly buy you a beer or two.